All right. So a very warm welcome, okay, in this chilly weather to both of you. So, Sally, you were sharing something really interesting. Do you mind repeating that?
Yeah, because I think because of the lesson today, allowing new perception to arise in me, I was thinking about the movie theatre idea where you watch yourself on the movie and you watch the avatar, the actor Sally, go through the motions of everyday life. And I usually sit in the audience and I feel it gives me an observational point, so I'm not lost in the drama. But then today I pictured it and I suddenly thought, oh, I've been sitting in the audience watching the film as Sally, watching Sally go through her life and then judging it as a Sally somehow. So then as I realized that, well, I'm not Sally, and this sensation of a mask coming off or like the outside of me, like a coat came off and it went off and it went into the screen. So then I was sitting as awareness in the audience watching the movie of Sally. And that changed it from me having some mind chatter about what's going on, rather than going, oh, that's interesting, that's happening in the dream, blah, 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 to just peacefulness. When I was awareness, looking at Sally going through life, I was suddenly thinking, well, it's nothing to do with me. And I just didn't have anything in mind, just went quiet. So yeah, found that very interesting. I think it's important for me, but I might have to sit with that for a few days to make sense of it.
Yeah, it's a moment of awakening and insight. Satori, they call it in the Japanese Zen tradition. You just kind of get something, and it's an internal shift. So that movie, the movie theater idea is interesting. So you can think of it, everything as a movie that you're just watching from the perspective of awareness. It's not you. You're not the character in the movie. You're not actually doing it. You've zoomed out of the screen and you're able to just watch and observe. As though you were in a movie theater, like looking at the character on the screen, doing her thing and playing the role, but you're not identified with the character. See, what you did there was you broke your identification with the character. So now you realize I'm not really the character, so I can just be this awareness that's watching the character with no particular interest, desire, attachment to whatever the character is doing. Just another character in the story. As though you're watching another character. You can watch Lynn or anyone going about their business and just see that it's all just characters in a dream, without the personal self being invested in what the character is doing.
And there was no emotional either. If I went to a film and watched a character in a movie, I'd probably get emotionally connected with I'd usually become one of the roles, one of the actors in the screen. And I'd feel emotional and I'd feel connected with it. But in this scenario, being just pure awareness, I wasn't emotionally involved, which was a big shift. Because if I was watching, let's say, Lynn in the movie, I'd have some emotion. Terror. Well, you just do, don't you? You have some emotional connection with other people. But by letting go of the humanness in it, yeah, it's interesting. Very
so it was beyond emotion. It was a state of being, would you say?
State of being. I was very still. Yeah. Very aware, very alert, enjoying it, really noticing, because even today when I was doing things, I was really noticing. Wasn't kind of just like vaguely noticing, I was really noticing, hyper aware sort of feeling, but in a really lovely way, really precision awareness, but just not emotionally and not thinking, not having a dialogue in my head about it. So even if I went to a movie and I was watching a movie, I'd be thinking, oh, I don't know if I like that character, or, you know, it's strange that she's wearing that or something. But in this scenario, it was just quiet, peacefulness.
Yeah, so that's a characteristic of an enlightened state. It's not an emotional state. It's a state of being, which kind of transcends emotion. So you could call it peace. Peace and emotion, or is peace a state of being? I think it's more a state of being, isn't it? Emotions are the ones that move you, that turbulent. You know, it's like there's a movement. It's not stable with emotion. It's because it's moving your way out of your state of being into illusory territory. So strong emotion always feels disturbing, because it's disturbing that base state of peace, which is what we're aiming for. So imagine being in that state all the time. No movement, just stillness, just going through life with that constant, still awareness. Well, it's beautiful, isn't it? I mean, what can you say? It's an amazing state to be in. I'm just still. I'm aware. The mind is not having to think overly. It's just I'm aware. But as you say, hyper awareness, because it's like crystal clear awareness in the moment, very sharp. So these kinds of, in the East, they document all these states, and that is moving toward. You start entering those kinds of states, you're moving towards the full enlightenment.
Hooray!
Zen, the art of Zen. Zen is really about exactly that kind of a state. You went into a Zen type state of just pure awareness, just awareness. You're noticing the world, but from a state of pure awareness where there's no mind chatter. You're not judging it. So that's the state that the Zen masters try to attain. Just you're aware, hyper aware, but no judgment of what it is that you're aware of. Just crystal clear, still aware perception. And Buddhist monks, and they go for years to train to get into that state. That's the point of Zen, to train your mind to be in that state continuously. So you're doing it. It's happening through this, because every path actually leads you in the same direction. And that's enlightenment in the world. You're not withdrawing from the world. You're able to stay here, just be present, be aware, and everything's okay in that awareness. Everything's fine in that awareness. So when the mind comes in and starts to interpret the story, that's not fine. So maybe try that. You're going into the cold, and just go, I'm in this heightened awareness. I'm just noticing. I'm totally present. So the Vipassana, just noticing your body sensations, it does that. It's just notice. So that the toe's got a sensation, but that's okay. Awareness is just noticing it without going, oh, that's bad, that's good. Because it's what the mind does is it judges, and it creates a resistance, craving, or an aversion. So, oh no, that's good, I want more of that, or oh no, that's bad, I want less of that. And as soon as you do that, then your mind is now engaged in the story, and it's telling a story about the sense perceptions. The Vipassana is just observe without a story. Okay, there's a sensation, and that's end of. There's no more interpretation of it. There's a sensation in my foot, I notice it, and then I move on. So while you're standing, you could body scan. You go, okay, so I'm moving my awareness through my body. Okay, I notice the toes. Okay, sensation in the toe, and then I move it back up through the leg, and I notice all those sensations. And just when you get to the toes, notice that sensation. It's a different sensation from the rest of your body, but without going, that's bad or good or anything. And then you're doing, Vipassana meditation while you sending you pictures, which is 2 for the price of 1. Really.
One day, maybe not yet, maybe not tomorrow.
Well, give it a go.
Why not? You could do
You're
it.
standing,
I don't know how to do
standing
it.
there anyway,
Just
and no
being
one.
mindful, just being aware, just like you've been doing with pain before. It's the same thing, because I think that when you focus on your feet, you know, in those circumstances, the blood goes there, because the energy goes where your mind goes. So if you focus on your feet, the energy is more likely to go to your feet, so the blood flow will go there.
Yeah, but in the other way round, I'm sure I must have been really focusing on my feet for them to get that cold.
I think that's the resistance. So I think it's like it's an aversion to having cold feet. So there's a pushing against it, isn't there?
My wellies have always kept my feet warm, though. They've never been like this. I've been out all night in the cold and not got pain like this in my feet. So there's another emotion involved somewhere there.
Yeah.
So the way, often, you know, the way to work through that is just observe, no judgment. You just observe that so-called pain, but you don't label it as pain. You know, I really got this when I did the Vipassana retreat. It was day 4, and they start what they call sittings of firm determination. Sounds quite ominous, doesn't it? Sittings of firm determination. Oh, are we going? Because before that, you can kind of move around. Yeah. Before that, you can kind of move around. But sittings of firm determination, you're supposed to sit for an hour and not move. So for some reason, I got into a different posture, and my hip was a bit, you know, it wasn't comfortable. And then they go, right, now we're doing, you know, this sitting of firm determination. You're going to go for an hour and don't move. I could have moved. I mean, no one's going to hit you over the head with a stick, you know, as it does happen in some Zen monasteries. But they do, yeah. You move and they whack you. So no, pay attention. It's part of the tradition. But I just took it as a challenge. It's like, okay, so we're 5 minutes into this. There's another 55 minutes to go, and my hip's already kind of hurting. But I just went, okay, so let's practice the technique.
Yeah.
Just scan the body, but get to the left hip, and I went, okay, it's just a sensation. There's a tingling. There's a kind of burning. I didn't even label it. I didn't even put words to it. It's just, there's a sensation. I'm aware of the sensation, and then I move through that area and I go to the rest of the leg, and then that's subsiding. It's kind of there in the background, but I'm now focusing on my knee or my foot, and then I'll come back and I'll run through that area again. And I did that for an hour, and it was okay. There was no resistance anymore. You see, there was no resistance. It was just observing. Okay, there's a sensation there. And I really that taught me the technique. I really got it. I was like, oh, okay, I get what they're doing here. It's no resistance. Don't make it real in your mind to resist it. Just observe it, and then it's okay. And that could be a huge healing approach, because the mind's not giving anything an interpretation anymore, just observing it without a story and without judgment. So then you allow, instead of the ego hijacking the situation, you allow the higher awareness, the spirit, to come in and do whatever is needed. Maybe it warms the body up, or if there's a sickness, it starts to heal the body, because the mind's not telling itself a story about that anymore. So I could see how that could be a very, helpful healing approach. And just stop it. You see, your suffering is mental and emotional. It's not because your feet are cold that you're suffering. It's because of your interpretation of the sensation.
And I did know that. I knew, I knew it wasn't just pain. I'm in pain because I'm feeling. I thought, it's
interpretation. And you can change that. That's perception.
Yeah.
You can change perception by your attitude. What do you think about that? So
a really weird thing happened. So there was 3 stalls, or 3 women. We were all chatting and stuff, and then we also said, oh God, our feet were all killing us. We were all saying the same thing. And then the girl at the end went into a shop and brought us all new socks, and it was so weird. We all put these socks on, which were thinner than the ones we already had on, but they were really, really soft, and we all got warm feet. But only for a period of time. Then a bit like, it might have been an hour, 2 hours later, we all started going, oh no, it's like the cold's setting in again. And in my head, I was thinking, what is going on here? Because I went from stone cold ice block feet to these warm feet wrapped in soft socks. I was so aware that it was bizarre. And then a bit later, it was back to the ice blocks. I changed my socks again because I'd gone and bought some more, and it didn't work. So I thought, right, this is a game. I'm gonna sort this out.
You all had a belief, so that's the interesting thing.
Yeah.
You know, there's a collective belief. 3 of you were like, okay, we get new socks.
Yeah.
And you all believe this, and then your feet got warm. And then the ego can't stand that for too long. So it's like, no, well, you know, we've got to bring you back to so-called reality. That you know, these socks aren't going to work forever. So you're going to get cold again.
Yeah.
But it's mind games. I mean, think it's all belief.
But I thought if I've magicked that up the first time, why couldn't I do it again? And then I was like, if I could just do that any time, I'd be absolutely fine, because they stopped hurting and went warm. I know it's good to have people to talk to about stuff like this, because you can't talk to everybody, but it's like, that was so weird. I was like, no, I need to fine tune that. I just need to get to that place like that.
Sounds like a great spiritual training going on.
Oh, exactly.
Really
you got the rest of the winter to work on getting it right.
Yeah.
So everything's happening for you. It's all an experience. You can use all
loads
of
good
for
stuff.
your training. You know, the Zen way is like, well, use everything. You know, the Zen master will say, enter Zen from there, because the trainees, you know, initiates will go, oh, master, you know, I'm looking for Zen. Where can I find Zen? And go, just enter Zen from wherever you perceive. You know, enter Zen from there. You can hear the mountain stream. Enter Zen from there. Okay, well, that's a beautiful sound. So you could go, you know, the mind will go, oh, but that's easy to enter Zen from a mountain stream, because that's a really nice sound. But, you know, the Zen master will say, enter Zen from your cold feet. Enter Zen from wherever, whatever the perception is, whatever's going on, that becomes your point of entry to that hyper-aware state.
Mm.
And then, you know, your experience is different. You're now in a meditative state, so you're selling your pictures in the cold in the market, but actually you're meditating. You're in a state of presence, and then who knows what'll happen. Very good, you know, very interesting.
I've got the next 2 days to try it out in a
row.
Try
it out. You might get strange synchronicities coming on. People come and chat to you.
I've already had. I'm having so many.
You're in a different energy state, so people will pick that up and go, something different about her. So I'd like to, if there's a resonance, you know, I'd like to go and buy some pictures. And what do they do?
Loads of it's happening.
Oh.
Yeah. Weird things like rugs and that.
Yeah, go on, tell that one.
Oh god, it's so weird. So I actually put on my Facebook yesterday, and I really meant it. I said, if anyone's got any carpet offcuts and they come into town, please bring me a bit, because I was obviously in the cold state then. I thought if someone's got a bit and they're coming, they could just drop it off. Anyway, nobody did. But anyway, at the end of the day, I walked home. Normally I would get a taxi or something, but I was able to leave all my stuff there. I walked home with these 2 bags, and just as I got round the corner of Carlisle Close where we live, there was a mat on the pavement that fit carpet mat. It was just grey, a little bit shiny. Okay. I dragged it home with my 2 bags. I was like, I've got my carpet. Honestly. It was just,
and it is such a good...
I took it in the laundry room and it's dried overnight because it had ice and snow on it. It was so weird. I was like giving it the sniff test, making sure that it wasn't filthy and everything. I'm like, no, I've got this rug to take with me.
Yeah,
like that.
That's so interesting.
Weird.
Perfect in so many ways. It's a nice color. It's the right size.
Yeah.
It's quite fluffy in the middle. I can see it's been worn a little bit around the edges, but the bit you're standing on, it's just perfect.
It's thicker. It's a rug. It's a tidy, clean.
Yeah, exactly what you asked for, waiting for you.
Yeah.
There's no accident there. You know, how does this stuff work? You can't.
I say, because if it was
fathom.
further away, I couldn't have dragged it home, because the 2 bags I had were actually heavy. I had my rucksack on my back and 2 bags that were pulling my arms. I thought if that had been any further, I couldn't have managed it. But it was round the corner from the house, on the pavement.
Just
weird.
Waiting for you.
Yeah. She just didn't have my name on it, but it did.
So, yeah. Then someone somewhere lost the carpet, and they went, "Where did the carpet go?"
Sorry.
It's just disappeared.
Thanks. It was good.
It would explain why sometimes things go mysteriously missing.
Yeah.
Well, like, where did that go? And you can't really explain it. Well, maybe
that
it
went to someone else that needed it more.
Yeah, it went into the time-space vortex or whatever, and got sucked into some other
dimension.
Dimension of reality, so that someone else could have it who needed it. So if you ever lost something, I guess that's what you got to think. Well, that's how it goes.
It's like my AirPod charger disappeared this morning, and I looked where I'd left it, and it just was not there. It's only a small bedside table. Wasn't there. Couldn't see it. Came down, started searching all around, thinking I must have gone somewhere else. The dog must have knocked it down the back of the sofa.
Do you think I'd taken it?
Oh, I did wonder, but I knew you hadn't. And then I kind of forced my hand down the back of the sofa, and I was trying everything to find this flipping AirPod thingy. And then I was on a call, and it suddenly occurred to me, oh, I'm tired of listening to clients. Oh, so I was like, I need to do a little bit more calming before I listen to any more feedback from the clients. And then I came off that call. I had the intuitive flash where it was. I went up to the same bedside table, the same spot, and there it was. So somebody
disappeared.
It disappeared and it came back. I've had that before. Yeah.
And you go, there's no logical explanation for that.
But I'd had a change of mindset, because I realized I'd done a lot of listening recently, and I need to just give myself a little bit more time to kind of recalibrate before I took on anybody else's stories and emotional stuff. But as soon as I had recalibrated, I got the intuitive flash. There it is, and there it was.
And there was no reason why it would have disappeared for a few hours.
No, nobody else is in my bedroom. No, even Lynn doesn't go in my bedroom. So I know Lynn hadn't taken it. No.
So you're like, well, how do you explain that? It doesn't match the laws of physics. But these things happen. I had a book. Playing with space. I had a book once just manifest in my boot. I'd taken it out of the boot. It was a Course in Miracles book. I'd taken it out of the boot to show someone. It was a weekend workshop, and I'd left it there, and then they locked your keys away. You didn't have access to your keys. It was a bit kind of militaristic style retreat, like you were going to run away or something. So your keys were locked away in a back room. I'd taken the book in. I'd actually gone back in the morning to get it. So, and I had my girlfriend at the time was with me. So she was like, yeah, you did. I saw you bring it in. I said, you saw me bring it? Yeah. No, I wasn't going crazy. I brought it in and I left it there. And it was just outside a school hall, because that's where it was happening. And then it's not there in the evening, the late afternoon, when you're going home. And I'm going, where's it gone? Has anyone seen? I'm a big, thick blue book. It's not exactly that easy to lose. I know no one's seen it. The lady I brought it for said, no, I haven't seen it. I'm like, okay, well, it's disappeared, but it confirmed an insight. I'd seen the facilitator he'd asked us to meditate that afternoon. I kind of meditated, and I got this insight that what he was teaching was not the truth. It was luciferic. It was pretending to be the light. And I had a conversation the night before the lady was staying about, what's the luciferic energy? And it's like the appearing to be the light, but actually at the core there's darkness. And so in the meditation, I got that insight that, okay, the guy says he's a course teacher or whatever, but actually this is luciferic, because it's pretending to be the light, luring people into, this is the way, but actually it's not. In fact, it's a denial of the truth, because it basically his teaching was, well, you have one, this is your, extraordinary moment in time where you get to shine. It's your unique expression of, so your life is a unique expression of consciousness or whatever. I can't remember exactly how I phrased it, but it was really about specialness. I'm going, that is absolutely not a course principle at all. It's taking you into the specialness, that this life is so special, and you've got to justify your life by making it even more special and doing something unique. And rather than, the underlying message were all one. So it gave me that insight, and then the course disappears almost to confirm it. It was like, okay, yeah, all right. So you've seen that course disappears. It was like I clocked it, and I was like, and then also it was a lesson in letting go of attachment, because I had to let go of the course. I could have got upset and gone, oh, I've lost my course. I really, and I went, okay, well, it's just a book. I guess if I need another one, I'll get another one. But the truth hasn't really gone missing, because the truth is not in the book. The truth is in me. So there's a letting, and I did let it go. I was okay with it. And then I got back to the car, and then the whole car it was underneath a tree which had kind of yellow flowers. So the whole car was covered in yellow flowers. It was almost like it had been anointed. It's like, okay, interesting. And none of the other cars were. There were other cars in the same. I didn't see yellow flowers on them, just on mine. It's very interesting. So then I opened the boot, and there's the course in the back of the boot. I go, like, what? Like, that shouldn't be there. I didn't do that. I didn't put it there. Who would have done that? Who would have known that that's my course, gone and got my keys locked away in the wherever they were, and gone, okay, I'll match that up and open the boot. I mean, it just doesn't stack up, does it? No one would do that. So then how did it get there? You can't really explain it. It was moved by some force. It was there to show me, okay, you've lost this. It's showing you, giving you the message that this isn't the truth. So I got that clearly. But my insight in the meditation was correct. And then because it's not helpful for me to lose my course, it's just given back in a miraculous way to show you, well, actually, you can't really lose the truth, and it's not really useful for you to lose that book because you need to read it. So, there it is again. It's all miraculous for you, for your learning in that situation. And then you just got to go, wow, like, why do I ever doubt? I mean, that's just extraordinary. Who's doing this? What power of force is doing this? People can't really explain it, but you don't have to. It's the mystery of the spirit working in the world, and somehow this happens, and we can't really fathom how it happens. How are these laws of time and space transcended? Because they're not real. That's the truth of the matter. They're not ultimately real. So you're living in a matrix. It's like the code just needs to be changed somehow. We don't know how to do that, but it's possible. So if it's
needed, dropped my rug in.
Yeah, yeah, like you go, well, why would someone have put a rug on a pavement?
You imagine in the background they're going, oh, she's walking down the road. Quick, she ordered a rug. Anybody got a rug? Oh, whip it out of that dimension, put it into that dimension.
Yeah.
I'd love to have seen my face. No. In the dark, like weary, looking at it, I couldn't believe it. It wasn't at the end of the drive. It was like next to like a 6-foot high fence. If it was a drive, I might not have taken it. Nice. Oh, it's great.
Perfect. Oh, so it's just acknowledging that the universe, if you want to call it, but the spirit working within the world and the universe has got your back. Like there's no word of difficulty in miracles. If you're on the spiritual path, you'll get the guidance and the help and assistance that you need. You still get challenges and lessons, but then that's part of the learning. You need the challenges and lessons to invite the miracle. Behind every challenge is a miracle. So you just got to remember that.
I'm getting loads of miracles. Yeah.
Show me the miracle then in the situation. Show me how to resolve this, and then you give it over. This is what yes, you're saying. This is so easy. You don't try and solve the problems. You just give it over and say, well, okay, you show me.
So when we're not getting these synchronicities and these miracles, or not seeing these miracles and things, we're blocking them. We're cut off from source, or what are we doing? Because it's so evident that at the moment it's so evident that something's different, happening differently for me. And I feel very blessed. I have lots of synchronicities and stuff, but this is like one after another. It's lovely momentum at the moment. You think what all the pain that I've been feeling, and I still am at times, but it was like the ending of that relationship, with it being my choice, has set me on this new path, same path, but new improved path, where it's going like that.
Well, you made a clear choice, you know. So you made a choice to let go of a big thing in your life, and when you do, correspondingly, then synchronicities happen. They say, Deepak Chopra quote, and he talks about in the Vedanta, which is the ancient Indian teaching. They talk about 2 symptoms of enlightenment. The first one is a lack of worry. You don't worry about the future anymore. Just, everything's going to be okay. I don't worry. Things are going to sort it. And then, you know, corresponding with that, the second characteristic is much more synchronicity or flow. So you don't need to worry. You realize I don't need to worry, because, you know, there's always a plan. There's always a way. I can always ask for help, and it's given. And you learn to rely on that increasingly, which is providence. They call it, you know, divine providence, grace. I'm just be guided. You still follow the prompt. Sometimes you need to, you know, I mean, you need to pick up the carpet. It's a choice. Okay, you know, they leave a carpet for you. Okay, well, pick it up. You know, it feels right. You take it because it's meant for you. So you still got an element of playing your part in it. But a lot of it, you know, so much can happen without your interference. That's the whole point. Without your control. Like the ego would have gone, okay, well, I need to go order a carpet online. So let me go, you know, and it's just, no, we've got a better solution. I'll just give it to you, you know, right there. And that's part of your miraculous awakening to something else beyond, you know, beyond the ego's story of the special relationship and the special person suffering in the relationship, and, you know, that whole drama. Really wasn't a drama, big drama that's obsessing, that's consuming your attention, your time and energy and attention, and stopping you from accessing the spirit. Well, now you've let that go. It's a huge distraction gone. So now you can focus on you know, doing this course and mastering learning who you are, really. Who is Lynn? And I don't need another person to show me that. You know, I can go direct to spirit and you know, and learn that. And maybe at some point someone else comes along, or maybe they don't, and that's okay. You know, either way, you're like, it is really whatever, because you realize I'm not in charge anymore of my journey. What a relief. You don't have to plan it. The spirit's planning it. The spirit's got your back. It knows exactly what Lynn needs. And that is just what happened with the carpet. It's just a sign for you to say, look, it's okay, Lynn, you can trust.
Yeah.
You know, even
it did make me feel
even
that
your needs
that.
on the level of form, you know, you've got cold feet. Okay, we got that. We got your back, you know, we're with you. So it's okay, you can relax. You know, that's a sign to say, look, just trust more.
Yeah.
And that's what the miracle is there for. Yeah, to get you to, you know, development of trust is what, you know, the whole, that's what he calls his spiritual path. If you remember, and if you did that section on development of trust, it's stages of evolution of your trust in spirit, in life. So okay, you know, there's this trust that's there, and I can always rely on it, no matter what the situation is, no matter how tricky it is. So I'm not scared anymore. You see how the two go hand in hand. I'm not fearful, because I know that if I get into a seemingly challenging situation, spirit's got my back, and there'll be a way. I'll find a way. And then you expand your horizons. Instead of being very contracted and fearful, you go, okay, I can adventure. I'm the hero on the adventure. I can go into the adventure knowing that, you know, I've got helpers, guides, mentors, are all there for me. I'll share my screen. So you look at the hero's journey, you know, you see that the help is there all the time. You never don't have this help. Mentors, helpers, guides through the challenges and temptations. So you need the challenges and the temptations to see that the guidance and the help is there. Otherwise, it wouldn't be demonstrated for you, would it?
No, it's very obvious.
That's a mindset of like saying, I'm thriving through adversity, right? I'm thriving through the challenges and the temptations.
Yeah.
As these things arise, I go, great. So give me the guidance, show me the answer. Problem, I ask for the solution, and it's given if I ask for it. And we need the challenges and temptations to learn that. So the more we learn that, the more we start trusting in this power that's taking us on this journey to our ultimate destination, which is source. But you have to start pushing out of the comfort zone of the fear-based state. So in some ways, you've gone out of the known world, relationship drama, known world, and you've gone, okay, I'm free of that.
Yeah.
I'm now in this, and you're walking your path fearlessly, and then you will get mentors and helpers and guides and carpets showing up or whatever. It's like a magic carpet that's there.
I thought I was thinking of earlier. I used to pretend I had a magic carpet when I was a kid.
There it is for you. So
yeah,
you see, if you often if you make a big shift like you did, you've let go of something quite big, then you see the results in your life, more flow, more synchronicity, because it's showing you that you're on the right track. Imagine if things always got harder. Well, you'd lose faith. You go, I'm not going the right direction here. What's wrong? But if it's getting easier and there's more synchronicity and flow, you go, oh, this is nice. I like this. This is moving in the right direction. Let me keep on. Which is what the miracle in form is there to do. It's just a signpost on the journey. So learn, great, keep going. Heaven ahead. You're on the right track. Keep going. In these little ways, and it's all happening for you, orchestrated by this Holy Spirit, this amazing power that is beneficent and wants to help you. Wants to help you and bless you and heal you in every way possible. So why do you doubt? How can you then perceive a cruel universe, so that the world is against you, when you have that with you? Trying to change your mind about the nature of reality. Your reality is actually friendly. It's not hostile.
I've been struggling carrying all my stock, my boxes, like 4 boxes of stock, 3 bags of stock, all having to go back to forth. And I've just been given permission to leave my stuff at the market. So I don't even have to carry my stuff around. So literally one thing after another is slotting into place. Yeah, it's really good. It's a good feeling.
And then, that feeling is what it's about. That's the flow feeling. That's now accessing the timeless dimension of your being. It's beingness in action. That's what flow is about. And it feels good.
Yeah.
It's taking you towards the ultimate destination of just being in that pure awareness, pure formless awareness. But you're learning it in action. And so life can be a happy dream. That's the whole idea of flow. You don't have to suffer. You can have a happy dream. You can engage in the world. You can do your stuff, and you support it and you guide it. And in your awareness, there's just this nice flowing. It's not all of that friction of the ego constantly rubbing up against you like sandpaper, causing resistance and emotional drama. It's just okay. It's okay. I can let it go, and I can just let go and flow. I can just flow forward, and life is easy and doesn't need to be a drama. Stuff happens, but challenges happen, but I flow with it.
Yeah.
And you're learning that, that's the hero's journey, to learn that. And it'll take you to this point, which maybe is still coming. That's not easy, but you come through that, then you can really just be in that awareness, and you're totally guided by the Spirit. Post letting go, of the ego in the abyss, you just totally, there's no longer really Lynn there. It's just you're guided by Spirit, and all of your thoughts and your words and your actions are inspired. So it's all going in the right direction. So just keep going, and you give it over to the Spirit and say, okay, you do it. It's up to you. You show me, and it will. Your needs will be met. Everything will be provided. That's what these little miracles are there to show you. You don't need to worry. Got your back. It's all okay. Just trust. Just trust and flow forward with whatever you feel called to do.
Yeah.
Okay, shall we have a little look at today's quote and a little bit of teaching on it? Will you read the quote, Lynn?
See how the body's eyes rest on externals and cannot go beyond. Watch how they stop at nothingness, unable to go beyond the form to meaning. Nothing so blinding as perception of form. For sight of form means understanding has been obscured.
And I got pictures of all the Christmas presents that are part of this time. But see how the body's eyes rest on externals. Isn't it interesting? We've got a festival to celebrate the birth of Christ into the world, which is transcendent self, the true self that saves us from all illusions. And then we focus on presents, material things, and food and drink and all the, it's a misinterpretation, isn't it, of what the celebration is really about.
We've made it material, haven't we?
Yeah, we've materialized what should be a spiritual celebration, celebrating the birth of the Christ, the one self, who was demonstrated by Yeshua very clearly. And that's everyone's salvation. Everyone can be saved by that awareness if they enter into the Christ awareness, Christ consciousness. It's called in the New Age teachings, the Christ self, Christ awareness, the one self, whatever you want to call it. That is where salvation lies. That's where awakening lies. And the festival should be to celebrate that. So how we should really celebrate it is a day of quiet meditation, contemplation. Maybe communion in that, so you can get together with people, but we materialize it all, and it's all about food and drink, lots of food, lots of drink, and lots of presents, material
excess.
And that's supposed to be a celebration, excess on the level of form. And he says, well, see how the body's eyes rest on the externals. It cannot go beyond. Watch how they stop at nothingness, unable to go beyond the form to meaning. So we give these things a meaning, and then the true meaning is obscured. We don't see the true meaning because it's covered over by the meaning that we've given everything. No, the Christmas is about food and drink and presents, and that's nice, and it's a bit of a holiday, and yes, you spend time with family, and but why you think about how we celebrate the thing as a society. It could be completely different. Why do we do it that way? Why couldn't it be, okay, we all go and meditate and pray and spend a day of like really deep internal reflection? Why don't we do that? So
how did it get to this?
Well, through misperceptions, many misperceptions over thousands of years. That people go, oh well, it's a celebration, so we materialize it. To celebrate, we must have physical stuff, good food, good drink. Then it's a celebration, then it's happy. So again, it's attaching meaning and importance to something outside of us that's now going to bring us the so-called happiness that we look for. And Christmas, oh no, you've got to have nice food, nice drink. Oh no, this makes us happy. But I always feel it's an anticlimax, isn't it? It's all this kind of stuff going on, and then the day is over very quickly, and you've had a big meal, and you've had a few presents, and then it's over. And you go like, okay, well,
because it has no meaning. Yeah.
Not really. Another Christmas come and gone, and it's all a bit deflating. And my family would always do it, and have a Christmas Eve dinner, and then a breakfast, and then everyone goes home at 1:00, and you're like, okay, and the rest of it's just like a kind of an emptiness, which I suppose maybe that's the point. Just be in the emptiness, and it's okay. Just an empty, open. I always like the emptiness of it, because no one expects you to do anything on Christmas Day. It's the one day where no one can call you and say, why haven't you done it? It's like, okay, there's like a rest. Everyone agrees we're taking a rest from all this stuff. And actually, that's what I enjoy about it.
Except for the person that's got to cook the lunch.
Yeah, that's
in
true.
England, Christmas lunch is a big deal.
Yeah, no, that's true. But from a work perspective or something else, you don't have to do anything. You've got the day off, which I always quite enjoyed. But yeah, I just thought it's worth, in the season, it's worth bringing it to mind, saying, well, what is Christmas really about? Is it about all these forms of Christmas, food, drink, the illusions that we've invented, or is it about something deeper? And it's it's Christ Mass. It should be dedicated to the Christ, which we know is an idea. Christ is not a person. Christ is an idea, an identity, which, again, most people don't get. They go, oh, it's all about the special story of Jesus. No, it's actually, he was just a symbol of the human being who identified himself totally with the Christ and became what he should become in this world. He lived his life, according to the divine plan. So he becomes a symbol for all of us to awaken to that same self. As I say here. So do you want to read that?
I'll read it. Christ is the one self we share, our true self, that always connects us with God, which is pure formless awareness of perfect love, that gives us the eternal gifts of love, peace, and joy, by comparison with the temporary material offerings of the ego pale into significance. The birth of Jeshua, who identified totally with the Christ or the true self, we share to unite his mind with that of his father or source, symbolizes the remembering of this self and the letting go of all other beliefs.
So that's what it symbolizes. Someone who's actually merged let go of his separate identity and become one with the source, one with his father or source. And he's the symbol that everyone can do that. Not that he came to all save us from our sins and he's just some kind of sacrificial lamb. That's a misinterpretation, as we've talked about. To be an inspiration to us, say, well, I did it, so you can do it too. You can also let go of your separate self and become one self, one with your source again. And it's possible because I've demonstrated that it's possible for you. I'm the way, the truth, and the life. The only way to the Father is through me. What did he mean? Not worship me. I'm the only Son of God. No, follow my way. I'm a way shower. You follow my way, and you're going exactly the same direction as I will, and I will lead you back home. I'll lead you back to your true self and to your source, because I know the way. I've gone there myself. And the letting go of all other beliefs. So all the other stuff that we've interposed between ourselves and the Christ, the food, the drink, the presents, that all ultimately needs to be let go of. I mean, you're not going to change Christmas overnight for people, but it's all about your perception, isn't it? So if people are doing this and you're having the Christmas meal or whatever, just know that it's not really about the form. It's actually about the love that underlies it. And if you can experience that on Christmas, then you've got the true meaning of Christmas: unconditional love for yourself and everyone else.
I see there's an attempt, because quite often people go back home, don't they? Like children go back to their parents' home maybe, and they're going back to loved ones. So spiritually, it's like going home to love, isn't it? There is an attempt to, but it's got a little bit confused along the way, and it's not always so much fun. She says going tricky, yeah.
Because you get all kinds of ego issues potentially coming up with all these people together, which has its own lesson, doesn't it? Can you let go of everything else on Christmas and just say, today I dedicate completely to the Christ? So try that this year. Whatever you're doing, you're cooking the Christmas meal, okay, but everything is done in and through the Christ self. And you might find a different experience. Very different experience arises. Maybe the first time you've truly celebrated Christmas in the spirit of Christ.
Yeah.
Should be profound.
It's going to be different this year.
It is.
Okay, so Lynn, do you want to read the next one? The fact that we've created a festival.
The fact that we have created a festival that focuses on giving material gifts and consuming copious amounts of food and alcohol, which lower rather than raise our level of true awareness, just shows the ego will try to hijack even the most spiritual of occasions and use it to convince you that you are a body and not the immortal self or Christ. So what was meant to be a celebration of the realization of the Christ identity and its promise of eternal life beyond this world becomes a celebration of the ego's false identity in a big way, and the desire and addictions it uses to perpetuate itself.
A misinterpretation, which is, I think, why a lot of people struggle with Christmas, because there's
it's not quite right.
Yeah, there's a falsity to it, and it actually, in all of that, it's empty, and it makes them feel empty and a bit depressed, and because it's supposed to be the one day, where everything's happy, and then they're not.
Yeah,
because you're not going to find happiness in the carnal celebration, in the food, the drink, the alcohol, overindulgence, and any of that. Presents. I mean, you think of Christmas presents you've got. Like, do you remember them? You don't. Like, they're gone in a day or two. You don't remember them. They just, oh well, got that. It's like also temporary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Whereas what the Christ holds out to us is a permanent source of happiness, peace, love, and joy, not just on Christmas Day, but every day. So, again, specialness, it's only one day. There's a whole load of egoic characteristics of the way we celebrate Christmas. And it's just observing it. Get into that awareness that you were in. So just observe it. So, okay, I can observe all of this. I don't have to react to it. There's no aversion. Just that's what seems to be happening. We're doing the Christmas lunch, but the Christ presence is with me, so I'm just aware, and I'm going through the day, and I'm just doing what I do in this awareness, in loving awareness, which is the Christ awareness. So as I say, even in the midst of all the carnal indulgence of Christmas or anything else happening in this world, you can choose to forgive or let go of this false meaning and perceive only its true meaning, which is the perfect unconditional love of the one self for everything and everyone that is itself. So on Christmas Day, can you just love everyone and everything? That's really the question.
We'll give it a go, Helen.
Yeah. Gonna be interesting. Yeah.
Just open, expansive, loving awareness that's directing everything. Saying, well, this is about celebrating this one self that we all share. So there can be no disharmony, there can be no conflict. Everything's just flowing smoothly in this the Christ self.
Yeah.
And that's the true gift. So do you want to read the next paragraph? I love you.
It is this divine love that is the true gift of Christmas, and all the material gifts given and received merely symbolize the giving of this love by God, or pure formless awareness of perfect love and his Son, or in our alternative non-Christian language, its extension, Yeshua, a spiritual master who identified totally with this love and lived it more purely and fully than any other human being ever had until that point in time.
Which is why he says, I'm in charge of the at one-ment. Because he was the first one to fully let go of his ego. So he becomes the archetype for all of us. Okay, well, if one person can do it, then we can all do it, because it's possible. It's been done. See? So he was there to show us this is possible. You can actually let go of your ego. You can go back to source, and I'll show you the way. I'm the way shower. I've done it for everyone, for all humanity. So, that's what in that sense he's special. He's a way shower, but he's really just showing us how to be what we really are.
Yeah.
He's just woken up to who he is, and he's saying coming into the mental asylum as a sane person, saying, okay, come everyone, wake up, because this isn't who you are. And then he seems to be different and special, but he's certainly not the not the only one. Okay, the next one.
And it is this love that will save you from all the sin, guilt, fear, attack, sickness, and death the ego has invented, and give you superhero powers. Like Yeshua had to save or awaken others from their own nightmares, merely by teaching them the truth of who they really are. The miraculous thing about this loving presence is that not only to an experience of total love, peace, happiness, and gratitude, but it can also give you inspired ideas that can profoundly change what you do in life. And even more importantly, how you do it.
So we're talking about the flow, synchronicity.
Yeah.
Talk about creativity, inspiration, coming from source to say, okay, you can, here's what you can do. Here's where you can go. And it's just guided. It's not you trying to do it. You're just following the guidance. And that's when we feel inspired. That's when we feel like we're in flow.
Yeah.
So we are being done through by the Spirit. It's not really us doing it. It's doing us. And then in that, you see there's a surrender of the separate self concept. You've got to let go of that separate self that wants to manage your life, control your life. And so, okay, I'm open, I'm surrendering. And the Islamic tradition, they say, inshallah, God willing. It's a sign of surrender. It's like I surrender to a higher divine power that will guide me. Tell me what to do.
Yeah, I suppose I did that. I did say. Yeah, I did. I can see why it's happening now a bit.
You have to step out of the comfort zone of whatever you're in, the controlling, and so for you maybe there was a relationship, but it's stepping out of the known world into the unknown. So, okay, I'm willing to go. I'm willing to be, as Steve Jobs said in that. I don't know if you listened to his talk.
Who, sorry?
Steve Jobs posted one of his famous address at Stanford, and the end of it, he says, "You're already naked. You're going to die anyway. There's no reason not to give your heart to everything. There's no reason to hold back and be fearful, because we're all going to die. You're already naked. So like, go for it." Was his message to all the Stanford graduates. Don't fear. Just let go and go for it. You're already naked, because that's the truth. We're all going to die. So okay, that's a done deal. So just why fear? What's there to fear?
Yeah, what is there left to be scared
What
of?
is it? You already, like, your form, identity, your body, it's all gonna decay and ultimately not be
Gone.
So why defend it? Why try and protect the self-image? Why just go for it? So, okay, well, I'm already naked. It's a done deal that my death is certain at some indeterminate point in time. But right now, let me live in it with the spirit of life. It's guiding you. So I'm not living under the shadow of death. That the Psalm 23, the prayer, yea, the valley of the shadow of death be there. Let me not fear. It's about going beyond the shadow in your mind, saying, okay, that's not, that's not real. It's not important. I'm just inspired by life while I'm here. I have this awareness, and this awareness wants to work through me, and it's going to guide me to live a happy, fulfilled life, however that looks. And I don't know exactly how that looks. That's kind of the adventure, isn't it? It's an adventure. You don't know. You're not planning and controlling, and you just open up, and the most miraculous, amazing things can happen when you do that, which are very interesting and fulfilling and engaging. So it's not boring. This is an extraordinary, ordinary life. It's not. The ego is boring. Staying in the comfort zone and not going out of that. This is opening up to life itself, guiding you, and amazing things can happen as you've started to experience.
Yeah, it's that realization I had just a minute ago. It's like I know I've got this recollection somewhere that I handed it over. I let go of things and just thought it's going to be all right. It's going to be fine.
Yeah.
I was just trying to think of when, but I know I don't need to know. But that's why I was puzzling over, because I know I've done that, but that's what's changed it.
Yeah,
I can see it.
Yeah,
I feel it.
And then the result of it is, in your experience, you get more synchronicity and more flow, because that's the result of it. It shows you that as you are within, so without. Your experience, your perception is just a mirror showing you what your inner state is, which is how we learn this. So then we're going on the right track. We see the signposts, and life is there to show us, yes, you're on the right track. Keep going. So just don't regress. If the ego comes calling, don't go back, because it's, as it's going to try and stop this progression to enlightenment.
Yeah, because when I let that stuff in again, I get that same pain, and then I'm like, no, it's all right. And then it eases off. But as soon as I start thinking about all that nonsense stuff that I've been going through, it hurts again. It's so evident. And I don't
it's
want
actually
to feel
a physical pain you feel in your heart. So it just shows you it's all mental.
The
thoughts, and then that leads to the
it's self-torture.
Yeah, it is. So then you're believing that you deserve to suffer.
Yeah.
To be punished, and you punishing yourself.
Guilty, the guilt and all that stuff, But I've been able to release it really quickly, or change it, transform whatever I'm doing with it. So I'm not sitting suffering. The only time I'm struggling is at night. I'm not sleeping peacefully at all.
Okay.
But perhaps that will come, if I can carry on in this flow state and
Well, what do you do before bed?
Usually process photos and things.
Well, maybe you need to change that.
Yeah.
Spend some time, do an end of day reflection. I've got a process in here to give you. So try doing this. Just take a few minutes. Put on. I give you a power sleep track, or there's a guided reflection process for 10 minutes. Put it on. Calm your mind. Listen. Go through the questions, and just use it to reflect and process. I mean, you've got to process like you process photos. You've got to process your day.
Yeah.
And let it go. And when you come to the end, and you finally go to sleep, it's like it's put to bed. You've let go of whatever needs to let go of. You've also learned. Oh, what did I learn today? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting. I did learn actually, the carpet thing. Okay, that's a little miracle. What's it showing me? Spirit's got my back. My needs are met. It's all okay. It's showing me that I'm supported, I'm guided, and that's a good realization, to have. But you make it conscious with the end of day reflection, so that you actually learn these lessons, and it sets you up for peaceful sleep. If you do the power sleep, that helps as well. It's great track. You can listen to that for 10-20 minutes, and then try putting it on. I actually go to sleep with it. Just put headphones on, you lie on your back, it'll just take you straight into so quickly.
Which one's that?
This one. See that power sleep track?
Power sleep. Oh, okay. Is that in all of the email?
Yep.
Because I listen, because quite often I'll put the meditation, one of your meditations on before I go to sleep, and then as I wake up, but they obviously follow on and follow on and follow on, so they go on for hours. So every time I wake up, I can still hear another one. But
yeah, if you do it through, are you doing it through Telegram?
Yes.
So that's how Telegram works. It'll just play one off.
Yeah.
If you do it from the email,
It will stop.
well, you can, yeah, it probably will stop, but you can download this, put it on your phone or something. I've got a tablet, and I have to say, like, this really works. I sleep deeper because of it. Like, I can go down, I don't need as much sleep because of it. I can go deep sleep 3-4 hours, and I'm quite refreshed.
Because normally I don't need much sleep, but now I'm not having much sleep, and I've got really tired eyes, and I'm waking up really like tense, like my body is tense and scrunched up, and so I know I've been thinking, stressful stuff in my sleep while I've been asleep, and that's no good.
So try the end of day reflection.
Yeah, okay.
Try listening to the power sleep before you go to bed, and if you struggle to go to sleep, put headphones on. You need good quality, the ones that wrap around.
Okay.
Yes, not the plug-in ones.
Yeah, because they hurt.
They hurt. Yeah. So
I've got really small ears, so
good quality that kind of surround the ear, nicely padded. And then you just lie there with the power sleep on. It sounds like, you can hear it sounds like the ocean a bit.
Okay.
So you could also use ocean waves. It's like this. You can hear there's a zzz, that's a binaural beat.
Okay.
So if you listen to it with a stereo headphones, it gives
works,
you an effect.
yeah.
And what it does is it trains your brainwaves into an alpha state, which in alpha you just go to sleep very quickly. Whereas if you're in beta, you'll struggle. So it'll take you down into that deep sleep mode quickly. I find I tend to sleep deeper with it. So I'll go to sleep with it, and then I might wake up with it on, and then I'll take it off. 2 hours, 3 hours later, it's just running.
Yeah.
Time. So that's while you're there, those frequencies, it's entraining your brain into a lower, slower frequency, so you get deeper sleep. That's the idea. So using technology to to help your awakening process and help you get deep rest, and in some ways it's one of the most powerful applications of technology in the world, I think, because it can change consciousness. This technology, binaural beats, changes consciousness, which is very powerful.
Yeah, when I listen to those, I tend to get visuals as well.
Yeah, it takes you into a different brainwave state. So visuals are usually associated with theta. So just below alpha, you go into theta, which is the dream state. So if you drop into that, you can very often get these images or whatever. So you're obviously a visual person as well. So photography and stuff. So just play with it. These
well, I'll try that tonight.
So the email, it's a resource center. There's a whole load of stuff here. If you ever at a loss, go in here and just go, okay, so what's, there's many links, many resources for the day. You can always find something to listen to help you. So and try and get into a routine of that at the end of the day, that you're doing that as a regular thing, because that's what then starts to get you in a good sleep pattern, regularity.
It's a funny thing, because on my phone it's too small for me, so I probably should be doing it on the laptop, because I look at it on my phone and I'm like, I'm struggling to see it, but obviously I can see it really clearly on my laptop.
Yeah. So emails often better on a bigger screen, but you can switch your phone. Just do it, rotate it so that it's landscape, not portrait.
Yeah.
And then it gets bigger, a lot bigger. And then you should be able to read it. So or just it's there. Just memorize the questions. They're not difficult questions. You know, how could I have handled this difficult situation better? If there's any difficulty, how could I have done it better? Okay, good question. What did I learn? How does that learning serve me? And what am I grateful for? And just that might only take a few minutes just to process. And then each day, if you've learned from it, you don't have to necessarily relearn the lesson. Okay, so I'm conscious of it. I'm aware, yes, that's what happened. That's what I learned. Okay. So it reinforces this whole process. It's like, you know, ending the day, the start and the end of the day are important. End the day on a good note where you've kind of put the day to bed, you've learned what you can learn from it, and let it go.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so where are we? I think we nearly finished this. So you just never know when inspired idea. So do you want to read this, Lynn? I think this one's for you.
Which one? You just never know.
Yeah.
You just never know when an inspired idea that will completely rock your world and that of others can come. But one thing's for certain, these life-changing ideas do not come when there is no room for them.
In your mind.
I don't even know why that's upset me.
Landed though, didn't it?
Yeah.
It's because I hadn't had any room.
Yeah. So I guess, you know, if you look at where you were, you cluttered your life with so much stuff that you just had no room for inspiration to come in. And so you needed to let go to make the room, and that's what's happening now. So it's all good.
Yeah. So take time to rest, relax, and give the inspired ideas that will free you from the ego's extremely limited and limiting ways of being and functioning, the space to arise and develop in your mind. Yeah, that's what's happening.
Yeah. So idea of being an empty vessel. I empty myself, and then I'm empty and I'm open to other ideas. So creativity is just emptying yourself. That's the interesting thing. Empty yourself, and then you're open to inspiration. I think a lot of people misunderstand what it is. Oh, I need to be really creative. It's my ideas. No, now the ego can do that. The ego can hijack the creative process, and you can have ideas, but it's all egoic. It's not really helping you. But true creativity comes from being empty. Okay, all of my own ideas I've emptied, I've let go, and I'm just open to inspiration, to being guided. Now I'm tapping into unlimited awareness. The spirit, which is unlimited awareness, can come in and give me an idea I never would have thought of before, because I was too limited in my thinking. So the essence of creativity is letting go. Interesting. Although you might, you know, be inspired to do a creative project, to get the inspiration means you must be in an empty state. You must let go.
Yeah, absolutely. I can see it clearly.
And then when you're in it, don't get attached to outcome. Remain in an empty state. It's not about the outcome. It's about being in the moment and just being guided moment by moment. That's the essence of flow. And all of that takes you out of the ego's very limited ways, which you know about.
Yeah.
And it takes you to freedom and happiness. And that's, you know, that's your unique, your hero's journey is your way to do that. And it's unfolding for you. And, you know, you're coming into your power. It's beautiful to experience and to witness, isn't it? So it's like, okay, you actually, it's like a flower blooming, going, you know, it's been in the bud the whole time, and now there's the opening into who you really are.
On Sunday, I took more money than I've ever earned on a single day in my whole life.
Really? Wow. So that's a good sign.
Nearly doubled my highest.
Really?
Previous.
Yeah.
And it's been watching Lynn blossom over the last, how long's it been? 2.5, 3 weeks or something. You've just changed so much day by day, and That's it. It's been lovely watching.
Oh,
Relief.
oh,
So stuck
oh.
in all that pain and mess, and it was a
Mm,
relief to step out of it.
mm. So, it all comes back to the letting go. Can you let go and allow the spirit to do it for you?
Yeah.
And if you do, then the result is miraculous. You go, oh wow, look, this is how life could actually work. Why? So just remember, because the ego tempts you. Remember what it feels like to be in that prison. You're like, why would I want to go back? It's a mental prison, isn't it? Mental and emotional prison that you've constructed for yourself.
It's so self-induced. That's the thing. I'm totally aware that I totally did that to myself.
No.
Mad.
So now you're out of the prison. Don't go back in. Remember, this is what freedom feels like. This is what life is about. This is life, not death. That's a living hell. Yeah. It's prison.
This feels right. Yeah.
And you don't need anyone else. The whole point of going beyond the special relationship is you don't need anyone else to have this experience.
No.
It's just you and spirit. You're directly connecting and you guide it. And yes, of course, there's going to be other people in your life, but there's no one needs to be the special one, because the specialness pulls you back into the special self, which is the prison.
Yeah.
So you don't need to seek that anymore. You can let go of needing that, which is such a relief.
Yeah.
You no longer need that, and you're free. And then maybe, because this is how it works, you do meet someone, but it's not that you desired to meet someone. You were just
there's no pressure.
There's no pressure. There was no desire. It just kind of happens organically. And then that would be, much more likely to be a holy relationship where you actually just appreciated each other as who you are, the Christ. Because you're not desperate. You're not needing someone to play the special role anymore. So, if it happens, great. And if it doesn't, that's fine. No, because you're not attached to the level of form anymore. It's not the form outcome. You give your life to Christ, they say. This is normally it's like a nun or a monk or something. You give your life to Christ, but that's what you've done. You said, okay, you take charge. Give your life to Christ means you give it to the Spirit, this one self, and you say, okay, you do it. I don't know anymore. I have no idea. Lynn's a disaster. If I try and manage my life according to the Lynn characters, it's a disaster. I can see that. You laugh, but it is, isn't it?
It just sounds really funny because it's definitely been true.
So
everybody's the same though. Everybody, it's not just Lynn. Everybody that's a human with a.
It sounded funny with my name.
I know, it sounds so personal, doesn't it?
No. It's a disaster. It doesn't work. The dreams of death and disaster, Yeshua calls it. It doesn't work. So when you surrender, you realize, okay, it doesn't work, but there is something that does work, and I can just follow that guidance, and I can live a very happy dream. The rest of my days can be happy and flow. Challenges will come, and challenges will go. They arise, and then you let go of them, and
they don't have to be the challenges that get in the way of the peace. Take up all your mind space, because that was the mistake. All my brain space was taken up worrying about him.
And that's what the ego does. Totally consumes your energy and your attention, and obscures the Christ self in you through that. So it's a really good experience to have gone through it and then go, the contrast, you learn from the contrast.
Big contrast.
And then you choose accordingly. Well, which state do I prefer? It's obvious. I mean, it's a no-brainer, isn't it? So just keep on. You keep on with this program, and whatever the ego does, you're not tempted. You go, no, I know that, and that's not the way. It's prison. That's taking me back into darkness and imprisonment. When I can be free, I can be happy. Life can be pretty good. And you're doing it. You're actually living it. So
yeah.
Well done. Okay. So shall we? I think that brings us to the end of the email. Let's have a look at the lesson, shall we? Lesson 313. Okay, who wants to read?
Sally.
Now let a new perception come to me. Now I allow a new perception to arise in me.
That's what's happened.
Yeah.
Said this, didn't I? Where did I say this? I've said this yesterday or today or last night or something. Oh, that I'll post on Facebook. See it differently. Yeah.
Now allow it to arise in me. It's like, the rising up of the spirit. It's like this, it's coming from your source now, arising from source into your awareness. Rather than come to me from something outside.
Yeah, I had
the language.
I had so much of that this morning. So many insights and ahas came to me this morning. It's like I had this thought, those people, all these coaches on Facebook used to annoy me. They were always like, oh, make 10,000 a month, blah, blah, blah. And it occurred to me this morning that it was so inauthentic, and I coach a lot of them, and I know it's so not true. And then I thought, oh, but they're my clients, aren't they? That's what I'm working with. I'm working with people who want to be like that. They're acting it out, but they're not becoming it. So then suddenly I switched my perception. I went, oh, well, that's okay then. I can just accept that because, they're the people that come to me. And I don't know, it just changed it. And some other ideas around it. And I was like, and it literally, like you say, it arose in me. It was always there, but it hadn't quite surfaced. Several things now come to think about it. Yeah, it was a good morning for that. Good lesson.
If you look at the instrument for peace diagram, it actually might be up here already. Let's just see if I've closed it down or not. No, I think I've closed it. So I'll just open it. It's from the core, from the source of that desire to be the one self. That's where your beliefs, thoughts, and emotions arise. On that, where are we? Instrument for peace. Here we go. So instead of outside in, the perception is not coming from outside. That's why I said arise within me. It's not coming from outside. The perception is coming from within. It's coming actually, what Yesh is saying, from the choice. Do you want to be a separate self, or do you want to be one self? You choose to be the Christ, the one self. That changes your belief, your thought, your emotion, and your perception. So it arises from within you. Now, let me allow a new perception to arise from within me, from the very core of who I am, to then change my beliefs and my thoughts and my emotions and my perceptions of the situation. So it's an inside-out transformation. So our journey is to go from being outside in. I'm perceiving the world as outside of me, and I'm suffering as some kind of victim, and then I have various negative emotions and thoughts and a core belief that I'm a victim and I deserve to be treated this way. I'm not worthy of love, and blah, blah, blah. That's the normal ego story. And you go through that, you get to the core, and you realize I can just change my mind. I can be the one self in the situation. I don't have to be the victim. I don't desire to be the victim anymore. See, so that's what you've shifted, Lynn, at the core level, haven't you? I do not desire to be the victim anymore. I choose to be who I really am, my one self, and everything then changes. I can no longer believe I'm a victim, that I deserve to be unfairly treated. I can no longer have thoughts that are, resentful, painful, hurtful, oh, poor me, those kinds of thoughts, emotions. And the whole perception, which is just made up of thoughts and emotions, then changes. And now the one self is in charge. And the perception has arisen from within you, from the Christ in you.
I literally wrote on Facebook, for me, it was a change of thought. I changed how I thought about a situation and everything changed for the better. That was yesterday.
Yeah.
That was it. I just became aware of it. When a meme pops up and it's like, oh, that makes so much sense to me. And the meme it says, and suddenly you just know it's time to start something new and trust the magic and new beginnings. And it's because I just knew. Just changed that thought, and that's all it took.
Well, that's it's a change of mind, but it's a fundamental change of mind about who you are. Do you see that?
Yeah.
The core level, you're saying, I'm no longer the victim.
Yeah, I didn't want the suffering anymore. I knew I didn't deserve to keep making myself suffer.
Yeah.
So that was it. I thought, that's absolute craziness. Why am I punishing myself? And then I just thought, I'm not going to do it. And like I said, every now and again it comes back, and
but you go, no, I do not desire to be a victim, a separate self. I don't want to punish myself. You have to say no to that. That's the letting go, to invite in the Christ presence. Say, okay, I choose to be one self, which is happy, free, right now, not sometime in the future. And now everything that I experience comes from that one self. The beliefs, the thoughts, the emotions, and the perceptions all come from that. So the miracle is just a change of mind. The miracle is you change your mind about who you want to be, and then everything changes.
Yeah,
but it's a good diagram. It's very clear that it's an inside-out change, and it shows you how that that change at the very core of your desire to be a separate self or oneself, how that changes everything. The beliefs, the thoughts, the emotions, and the perceptions all will change when you change your desire. And that is a huge insight, massive insight. This is the essence of psychology. If you understand this, you're the best psychologist in the world, because it's change your mind about who you think you are. That's the core of it. Change your self-concept. And that's where change is born. That's why, like someone like Marisa Peer is successful, because she gets people to change their self-concept. Don't fiddle around in trying to fix all this, emotions, thoughts, beliefs. Let go of that. Change the self-concept. And then, now that you say, I'm the Christ, I'm enough, I'm whole, I'm complete as I am, well, the beliefs, thoughts, emotions, and perceptions arrange themselves accordingly. It all just filters up, permeates up to the top level of perception, where you go, well, I am perceiving differently. Life is different.
Yep.
Well, really powerful stuff. Okay, so read the number one.
I do it, or do you want to do it, Lynn?
You can.
My source, there is a vision which beholds all things as innocent, so that fear has gone and love is invited in to replace it. And love will come wherever it is asked. This vision is your gift. The eyes of your true self look on a world released. All its sins are let go of through its perception, for it perceives no sin in anything that it looks upon. Now I allow its true perception to arise in me, so that I may awaken from the dream of sin and look within upon my innocence, which you have kept completely undefiled upon the foundation to your wholly aware extension, the self in which I choose to identify.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Thoughts on that?
I thought it was very Lynn based. I felt like if you were reading it, you'd really feel it as well. I really felt it as I was reading it.
Feels like it's what I've just been talking about and going through, and yeah, I've stopped seeing it as I still feel the like I said, just talking about when I feel the mistakes, then it hurts again. But all the rest of the time, when I'm like, it's not a mistake, it's just learning curves, and I'm fine, I'm perfect, whole, complete. When I'm in that place, yeah, I'm innocent. I'm not guilty of anything. I haven't done anything wrong. Until the voice comes in and says, you do. But it's a lot less now. Whereas it was all the time, you know, all the time I was with him, bless him, and I'm not blaming him because I know it's not him, it's me. But all the time it was like constantly, you're always wrong, Samson. You're always wrong. You know, you do everything wrong. Everything you do is rubbish. Everything you do is wrong. Blah blah blah. Everything you do in the relationship's wrong. Everything you do in your other life is wrong. And of course, then nothing goes easy. Nothing.
No, you can't really have a relationship with someone who's telling you you're always wrong. I mean, that's not
everything I did and said. Yeah.
I mean, that's just, you know, you've got to appreciate the person for what they are, with whatever, you know, personality quirks, and you know, but you've got to look beyond that. And if you can't, then no basis for a relationship. So yeah, it sounds like you know, he was projecting his own stuff on you.
Because it was very evident. Like sometimes it was so obvious to my mind that I wasn't doing anything wrong whatsoever. And then that's confusing, because like, why am I attracting this being said to me? And then I'm beating myself up for that. But there were other times where I thought, am I wrong? Did I say something wrong then? Did I do something wrong then? So that's the big lesson. That's what has helped me step out of it, really, because I just thought, that's not right. None of it's right. None of it's normal. For it to be going on and on, you know, it'd been going up a notch and up a notch every time we got back together. So yeah, I could just see it was just guiding me out of it. Away from it.
Back to your true self, which doesn't the true self doesn't need the drama.
No.
At all. So well done. It's not easy to get out of, you know, it's like a prison, isn't it? Self-created prison.
Painful.
The temptation to go back to the pain. You go, well, why would I want pain? But the ego's addicted to it. It's addicted to the pain and the drama. That's why people, you know, can get stuck in very toxic relationships for many years, because their self-concept is addicted to the pain. And who would they be without, you know, without that pain?
I realized every time we split up, I was just thinking about him all the time and just wishing that, you know, we were back together and I could see him, and this time it's like,
no,
that's not going to work.
No.
That's the different, that's kind of the change of thought. I knew. Whereas before I kept kidding myself that was going to make me feel better. This time it's like, that's not going to make me feel better. That's not going to stop the pain getting back with him. You know, that's not going to make my life work. And then of course that's when it changed. Yeah,
because you're no longer seeing a false idol, saying that's, you know, something outside of me is going to make me happy.
And it goes back to that big breakthrough I had, I don't know how many weeks back. It's like it was the ultimate looking outside of myself for something to make me feel better. And then of course now I know I'm not. And look at me now compared to when I was looking outside of myself. I know it's all stupid, but it was that. It's all clicked into place.
It's amazing, really. Good to see.
Mm.
Miracles in real time happening.
Mm.
And, you know, as you share the story, other people hopefully be inspired. You know, anyone listening has got a relationship problem and they feel like they need to free themselves and move on. Well, you know, it can be done.
It can.
But, you're not bound by it. It comes, you know, you've done it through the spiritual work you've done, you know, on these calls and stuff. It's like, that's what's made the difference, hasn't it?
Yeah.
So thank you, Sally, for bringing us all together.
Yeah, absolutely.
Part of the healing. Okay, so any thoughts on this? I mean, fairly straightforward, but it's profound what he's saying. Maybe you want to comment on that, Lynn? What's he saying there?
Sorry, me? Say that again. Sorry, I was obviously thinking of something else.
What's he saying in this first paragraph?
Can I just say something that was coming to me while I was reading it? That
Right.
you're innocent, Lynn.
Yeah.
Inviting love in to replace all that self-punishment. That
Yeah.
makes me feel quite emotional because you're a reflection of me. So, you know.
Yeah, all that time I felt guilty. He was flagging it up to me, or, you know, doing this wrong, doing that wrong, saying this wrong, shouldn't be doing that, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
It was just reinforcing my feelings of guilt that I already had.
Yeah. Yeah.
But once I realised, that's
guilty.
the thing, once I realised I was innocent, even though obviously I've still got my stuff going on, then I couldn't accept it from him anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't accept that feedback anymore.
Yeah.
It ended.
It's not true. You realize it's not true. So it doesn't match your self-concept anymore. If I'm innocent, I can't be guilty. Someone's giving me guilt and telling you you're guilty, you know, that's not true. And never the twain shall meet. You can't reconcile a guilty self and your true self. They're not reconcilable. So you have to then make a choice to, you know, be with
carry on suffering or not.
No, you know, and you can choose to move away and say, I don't have to relate to you anymore. If that's the way you want to relate. You want to relate in guilt and sin and fear and attack. That's you know, the ego special relationship. That's a nightmare. There's nothing attractive about that. It's just a prison.
Yeah. Painful one.
Yeah. But you know, you've done it. And you know, now you're free. So you know, an experience you've learned from, and maybe you can help others. Maybe part of your journey is to help other women. There must be many, I mean, men as well, but women seem to, I don't know why, self-flagellate like that. And when it's such a toxic relationship, but it's like a lack of connection with their source. So they think somehow that you know, that man is going to make them happy and fulfill, and it's the complete illusion. Men do it as well. I mean, it's both sides. But you know, if you've been on a journey like that, then you can teach women who are on that journey. You can say, I know exactly what it's like. And there must be a large number of people in toxic relationships. So maybe there's a coaching practice, a book in it for you. Who knows? You guided. Just let the spirit guide you. See, your here's the thing. Your greatest point of pain in your life is also the source of your higher purpose. That's where it comes from. So huge pain around that, you know, particular relationship, but therein, when you move through it, therein is your higher purpose, because now you can help others to get through that same pain because you've done it, and then introduce them to the, you know, Course in Miracles and put them on a spiritual path in the process. But often it needs to be in a specific problem that you address. So your special function in the world becomes addressing that specific problem, and then bringing people through that special problem they think they have to the Christ in them. And that's what all healing is. Any problem, you know, you can, wherever people are at, you meet them at the problem, and then you take them to the solution, which is always the same solution.
Yeah.
And if you do that well, then you can get well paid for that, and there's a business there for sure. So maybe not. I'm just saying, that creativity, the inspiration we talked about comes out of your own personal transformation. Then you get the guidance. What's next? Yeah. So just be open to the prompt. If there's a guidance, a prompt, it's like listen, and then listen and do. It's so simple. Listen, okay. Listen, you get the guidance. It says do something, then do it. And it's a paint by number system. Just follow, connect the dots, and you can't fail to draw the picture. Okay. Any other thoughts on this? And what's he saying here in essence? Paragraph 1.
It's about self-love, isn't it? It's about having self-love. Knowing that we're perfect, whole and complete.
Letting go of guilt. I'm not a guilty self. I'm sinless. I'm innocent. I'm perfect. I'm whole. I'm the one self. I am love. And there's no room for sin and guilt and fear. Awaken from the dream of sin.
So I've let go. I find that quite fascinating that I've finally let go of some of that guilt. I know that's obvious, but until you sort of say it out loud, it's like, wow, yeah. I wonder who knows how it happens, but it has. So that's good.
Well, it's a decision. You make a decision because the pain is too much. Guilt is enormously painful.
Oh.
Guilt says you're wrong at your core. See, this is the ego story. You're wrong. It doesn't matter what. You're damned. You're condemned. You're wrong, just because of who you are. And
bad.
You can do about that. You're bad.
Yeah.
You deserve to be punished, and that's who you are. I mean, what a self-concept. My God, that's just terrible. So yes, you're saying how can you expect any happiness or peace or joy with a self-concept like that? The answer is you can't. You'll never find it.
You can't.
You have to drop the self-concept.
Yeah.
Which is dropping the special self that believes in separation. So it comes back to the separation, doesn't it? You believed you separated from God, and that you won your identity at the expense of source, oneness, love, and now you must be punished for it. So the guilt arises in that split from our source. And now the very core of my being is guilty.
Yeah.
That's the ego story. I exist because I've denied love. So at the very foundation of my being, my existence, I'm sinful.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, then you see why I'm saying this is never going to work.
It's always going to cause the chaos that it
always going to cause pain, because at the core of it, you believe that you're sinful. Your core identity is that you are wrong and you deserve to be punished for that wrong forever.
Oh.
And that's why you have this ongoing pain and suffering and misery in the ego's thought system, because you need to be punished forever for the guilt of snatching your special identity and in the process destroying oneness.
Yeah.
When you realize that that's what's behind the ego, and that it's just the biggest load of BS, it's absolutely a lie, because you cannot actually separate from your source. It's not possible to not be the awareness that you are. Not possible.
We do such a good job on ourselves, though.
Yeah.
But telling us that we are.
No. It's a very
we're separated and we're bad.
But when you really look at it, like we have been over the weeks and months, you have to see that the whole thing is illusion.
Mm.
it's clearly false, because if you are just this awareness, pure formless awareness of perfect love, you cannot separate from that. It's not possible. So any idea that you're a separate self and now you're guilty and that you deserve to be punished for destroying this is completely false, because you can't destroy this. It's not possible. You can't destroy your awareness. Not possible. So then you're not guilty. You see?
Yeah.
You just have to stop believing that you're guilty. Stop believing in the story that you've destroyed your true awareness, that somehow you need to be punished for this guilt of destroying God or love or oneness. You just have to realize, I never did. It's not possible. I still am that. There is no separation. The idea of separation was a delusion. All of its effects are illusory. I am still as I was created. That's the only message. I'm still as I always have been. I am that I am, always. So simple. I mean, what a simple message.
Mm-hmm.
But it deconstructs the entire ego thought system. You see that?
Yeah.
You can't reconcile them. You're either this or you're something separate from this. You can't be both. You need to choose. And you have chosen.
It's fascinating going over it like this, because it's just helping to reinforce it, because like I said, one of the big changes of perception was when someone's telling you point blank that you've done something wrong. For example, that might not be the right example, or that something's not true, and you know it's 100% true. That's the switch. I guess it's the change in self-belief and awareness and all of those things. And
There's something in you that knows that this is false. That's the Holy Spirit in you that knows that this is a pack of lies. It's false. And sometimes you just need to go deeply into it and really then be exposed to the falsity and go, I just can't believe this anymore. This is just crazy. Because it becomes so overtly obvious that it's false.
Yeah.
That you can't believe it anymore. And that's probably what happened to you. And then,
I stopped believing all these things being said to me.
Yeah,
I was like, there's just no, I'm not, I know I'm not perfect, but no, that's just not true. And then then there's that realization that is crazy. That is absolutely crazy to be taking this from any point of view, from anywhere.
No. So your freedom lies in just recognizing that the whole story is false. It's all just a pack of lies. And you don't have to believe one drop of it. And if a person is the agent of the ego in your life, you can just let them go and say, okay, well, good luck. Off you go. But there's absolutely no value in this thought system whatsoever. That's what Yeshua's trying to say to us. You believe in one little bit of this thought system. Unfortunately, you have to believe in the whole of it.
Yeah.
You believe in separation in any way, you must then believe that you're guilty, you're sinful for destroying oneness, because apparently you've destroyed it because you're now separate. You must believe that you deserve to be punished, so fear comes in. You must believe in an attack. You must believe in suffering and sickness and death. It's one deal. You believe in separation, and you have to accept the whole of what the ego offers you. Or you say, no, I don't believe in any of it. And that's the non-dual nature of this. But, honestly, is there any other way? There's no, you can clearly see, so you understand, there's no other way. You have to make a clear choice. You can't kind of go, well, I'll be a little bit separate, but I've still got my higher self there, but I'm kind of an ego, but I'm kind of a spirit. And that's what a lot of people try and do on the journey. They fudge it. I'm an enlightened separate self. I mean, that's a contradiction in terms. You can't be. It's one or the other. So it's just being very honest, seeing this for what it is, and just letting it go and saying it has no value whatsoever. So I'm not going back there. I stay in the Christ. I let the Holy Spirit reinterpret my dreams. while I'm here, I can have a happy dream. It's okay. And then there'll come a time when there's no longer need for a dream. My body dies. It doesn't really die. It's just, the vehicle is no longer necessary, and my mind is freed, and off I go. And I merge back into that.
Yeah.
No big deal. Just becoming one with my source again, and ceasing to be Lynn, because Lynn was never true.
Yeah. It's part of the story.
Just a story, just a story built on the idea of separation, which perpetuates sin and guilt and fear and attack and all the drama that Lynn loved to indulge in. That was Lynn's story.
Oh God.
But you're not that character. So what a relief. You can look at it now, zoom out, do the movie thing, and just go, oh my God, what a trip that was. It's like you watch the movie of this character going through all the drama and the suffering, but you're no longer identified with it. It's not you anymore.
No.
And there's the freedom. You're just the
already
awareness.
Changed a lot.
You're the pure formless awareness now coming through the character that was Lynn, using the same body and mind, but now for the right purposes. To free the character totally from the dream and spread that freedom, help others to be free as well.
Yeah.
And the character with the drama is it's just part of the story of the awakening. It's the hero's journey. Yes, you had to go through that phase, but you don't need to go back to it. That's you move beyond that now. And I think that. So that's a real shift, a real transformation.
Yeah.
That will take you in a different direction in your life.
Yeah.
This is happening for you. So it's amazing.
Moving forward.
Just being guided. So you're living in this domain, but you see, the spirit doesn't make any of this real. It doesn't really see it. It's like guilt, sin, attack. It doesn't see it because it realizes it's just not true. So it overlooks all of this, and you operate in an inspired way in the dream of time. And you become the demonstration that there is another way to live in the world. Okay, so should we move on to number 2? You read number 2.
The original.
I think read the original. It's got Christ in it, and then read the alternative.
Let us today behold each other in the sight of Christ. How beautiful we are, how holy and how loving. Brother, come and join with me today. We save the world when we have joined, for in our vision it becomes as holy as the light in us.
Yeah, the translation.
Let us today behold each other in the sight of our true self. How beautiful we are, how wholly aware and how loving. My companion, come and join with me today. We awaken the world when we have joined, for in our vision it becomes like the whole awareness in us.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's Yeshua talking to us, but in a sense, that's what we're doing with this community and the art of letting go. My companion, come and join with me in this awakening process, and we awaken together. We awaken when we join. We awaken together, and we have a vision, a holy vision of everyone and everything as the same awareness as us. Becomes as holy as the light in us. I translate it as becomes like the whole awareness in us. Everything's that awareness. Capital A, maybe. Everything is that awareness. Everything, everyone, everything is that same awareness. And when you're rooted in that awareness, then you perceive that. And when you disconnect from that awareness, you don't. The one is happiness and love and joy, and the other one is suffering. So choose. So any thoughts on that paragraph?
to me, it reads like when we're all connected, that's when everything's perfect and lovely again, rather than the separation.
Well, it's emerging into oneness. That's the at-one-ment process. And you feel it on these calls. It's emerging. It's really just one mind waking up to itself through this process. Isn't that so interesting? There isn't really three separate minds here. It's one mind, seemingly in different forms, but it's really one mind waking up to itself and discovering itself through this dialogue.
We're the sparks, aren't we?
Yeah. It's the same mind. Really, it's the same mind. I mean, it's mind-blowing, really. It's the same mind talking to itself, having an experience of unity with itself. And that's what's unfolding, real time in these sessions. You feel that and you go, wow, that's amazing. That's divine love. That's unconditional love. Not I love you, because that's impossible. There's no I, there's no you. I am you. I am you. Namaste. I am you. I see you as I am.
Yeah.
That's the holy love. That's the holy relationship that Yeshua's talking about, which is so far beyond the specialness. That's a chalk and cheese, isn't it? Just completely different way of relating.
Yeah.
And you must choose. It's either the holy relationship or special relationship. Either the spirit or the ego. Those are the choices. So if you dedicate all your relationships to being the holy relationship, you can only be happy. Every relationship can only make you happy. And you don't need a special person, because everyone is the same. You see the point? No one is more special than anyone else. So why do you need to attach your mind to a special person when everyone's actually the same awareness? That doesn't make any sense anymore, to look for a special person, because there is no special person. There's just the one awareness everywhere. And so you can love everyone and everything because it's the same awareness. It's your awareness. Oh, there's me again. Oh, there's me again. In the dog, in the cat, in the person across the street, in whatever, whoever. It's
in
there.
The kingfisher.
Yeah, the kingfisher, the bird, the trees, the grass. It's there. It's the one awareness everywhere. And that's Zen, that we talked about, enter Zen. That's the awareness. I'm in that awareness. That's all there is. When you attain the mastery, that's all there is, just that one awareness. Without any interpretation and judgments to cloud it, just the very essence of pure awareness. Now coming through you, being aware of itself. Oh, there I am again. There I am again. And you can only feel the expansion, the joy of that. It's like, oh, wow. I'm actually not limited to just this body. I'm everywhere. I'm all of it. I'm all of it and none of it. I'm not the form of it. I cannot be limited to any form. So I look beyond the form, but I'm all of it in essence. That's the enlightened, that's the enlightened state, which
So I'm not there yet.
Eh?
Not quite there yet.
Yeah, but you're getting there. It's an awakening.
Yeah.
It's like,
I can see it.
It's like you start to go, yes, there is something quite amazing. I am one awareness. It's everywhere. I'm all of it, all the time. And in that awareness, I'm completely safe. Because there's nothing that's not me. And I can just overlook any of the ego's nonsense. I just completely ignore it. It's illusion. There's no truth whatsoever. So this is the mind training to stay rooted in that one awareness, no matter what. Don't be sucked in by the ego's story and let it cover over that awareness, because that's what it's always trying to do. That's why the letting go is essential. But when you do that, and you have let go, you feel that awareness arising more and more. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
But why would I ever want to live any other way? Just pure awareness, just flowing through me. Everything's fine there. I'm okay. I'm not guilty. I'm not sinful. I just am what I am. So simple. I am that I am. That's the first name God in the Bible, which was given to Moses when he had the burning bush experience. He said, who shall I say sent me? Because this I am that I am presence told him to go free his people. Who should I say sent me? I am that I am. Just the I am presence. That's in all of us. That wants to just shine through you and use your life in the dream world to demonstrate itself, to know itself as through you. See, that's the purpose of your life, to know the I am presence as yourself. That's the whole point of a human life. And now you're finally waking up to that. You're coming into the true meaning and purpose of your life.
Yeah.
It's profound.
Mm.
And it's taken you, whatever, 50 odd years to get
Yeah.
But that's okay. That's the journey. It was all necessary to get to this point of, yes, I've actually woken up to who I really am. So it's all perfect in its imperfection. And you don't need to beat yourself up about any of it. It was all necessary to get you here. So it's all okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So how are we doing on time? We come to the end of the meditation. Do we have time for end of the lesson? Do we have time for meditation?
I'm off now because I've got a client now, but it's been a lovely session. Thank you ever so much.
Yeah.
Enjoy the meditation. I'll listen to it
Okay.
on
Are we doing let me just
And John, I'll definitely fall asleep if we do a meditation, so I'll go now as well.
right.
Oh, my battery's going to die.
So tomorrow at
I'm not sure yet. I'll let you know. I think not tomorrow late. Tomorrow afternoon. So does 12:30 work?
maybe, yes, I could.
12:30?
Oh, yeah.
I'll have to find out which days, because this time's actually better for me. Definitely works better for me.
Well, just watch the telegram or the email.
Okay.
Just experimenting with times at the moment. So I'm going to try and do more sort of 5 o'clock, but sometimes that doesn't work. So tomorrow it doesn't work for Sally. So we'll just vary it accordingly. So 12:30 tomorrow. Should we do?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, then I'll see you then.
Okay.
Thanks
Sally.
a lot, Jono.
Okay. You going
Thank
as well?
you. Yeah. Time for dinner. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Okay. Bye. Namaste. Okay, so we're going to do a quick reading of this let's have a look, see at this is what we want, Course in Miracles. So this is the kind of a supplement really to the course. It was scribed by Helen Schuckman after the course was finished, after she'd done the workbook, the text, and the manual for teachers. Sometime in the sort of mid to late 70s, I think. Came through the same process. And it's about psychotherapy because they were psychologists, psychotherapists. So Yeshua spoke to them about psychotherapy and what it really means, and how to change it and bring the spirit into it. So we're going to study that for the next little while until we finish that, and then there's one more thing to do called the Song of Prayer. It's also part of the expanded Course in Miracles now, so that should keep us busy for a few weeks. So the introduction to psychotherapy: purpose, process, and practice. So psychotherapy is the only form of therapy there is. Since only the mind can be sick, only the mind can be healed. Only the mind is in need of healing. Right? Stating what he's said many times in the text. It's all about healing the mind, not the body. This does not appear to be the case, for the manifestations of this world seem real indeed. Psychotherapy is necessary so that an individual can begin to question their reality. Sometimes he's able to start to open his mind without formal help. But even then, it is always some change in his perception of interpersonal relationships that enables him to do so. So we must change our perception, and these interpersonal relationships are often how it happens. Sometimes he needs a more structured, extended relationship with an, quote, official therapist. Either way, the task is the same. The patient must be helped to change his mind about the reality, quote, reality of illusions. So interesting introduction. It's just said to us that we must change our mind about the reality of illusion. Sometimes that's an official therapist, someone who has that title, and we pay them money and go and see them. Or it can be anyone, a coach, counselor, friend, mentor, guide. Person must be helped change his or her mind about the, quote, reality of illusions, and be willing to question them and ultimately let go of the mental and psychological attachment to them. So that's what frees the mind. And that's what psychotherapy is really about. As he said, psychotherapy is the only form of therapy there is. It's all about the psyche. Psyche means mind in Greek. It's all about the psyche, the mind. This is a mind training course. It's about healing for the mind, not the body. Changing your mind about your mind. So it's actually, A Course in Miracles is psychotherapy. Maybe not in the traditional sense of what psychotherapy is, but all psychotherapy addresses the mind as primary. So it's part of that tradition, looking at the mind and looking for healing in the mind. Exclusively, you're not looking for physical healing. You're looking for the change of mind that heals the mind and potentially the body. If the body is sick, it's because the mind is sick. It says all illness is a form of external searching. It's a quote from the text. Illness is a form of external searching. So I'm seeking outside of myself for what is not true. Seeking for some kind of salvation, some kind of happiness outside of myself. Simply not true. So that's the introduction. Psychotherapy, a nice little lead in. He's talking about what psychotherapy is. It's all about healing of the mind. And yeah, looking forward to the rest of it. We'll leave it there for today. Let's do the introduction. Next one is on the purpose of psychotherapy. And then he's got an introduction to that. So there's purpose, and then there's the process, and then there's the practice. All right, so we'll just study it section by section in the same way we've done the whole Course in Miracles book. Okay, so that's it for me for today. Thank you for joining, Lynn and Sally. Great session again. And if you listen to the recording, yeah, I hope you enjoyed it and connected you with the one self, the true self, Christ, that we all share. So, namaste. This means the true self in me acknowledges and honors that same true self in you.